Hello, welcome back to Winter Does Stuff, where we react to some crazy stuff. Today, we have RWBY Volume 5 Redux, Episode 4. I literally just got back into, reacting to this little series from Smaller Soul and Random Words, and I thought that, seeing as I'm here, I would continue it. So, let us bring up the episode, and here we are. So, we have skipped past the intro because nothing really changes in the intro. We've got our headphones that we've got right here. And yeah, I think we're just going to get into this one. Last episode was interesting. There were some things that I did agree with. And there was a lot that I just kind of yapped about. Maybe this episode will be less of the yapping and more of the talking. However, we do only have like 12 and a quarter minutes total of this episode. So this is going to be an interesting one to see how much content we can garner from the episode. So let's go. Okay, so we're getting the Yang stuff, potentially the Raven stuff. That'll be interesting, because I know that this season, or they've changed it to contain 10 episodes total, I think. With the finale being like half hours, so
How much further, pal?
This should just about do it.
Oh man, like just this frame emphasizes the color shift. Man, her hair is so much more yellow. Like, I'll talk about it maybe later on during a certain scene, but man, this is good. This is good stuff.
You wait here. I'll go up ahead and make sure the coast is clear.
I love that shot. That's, oh man, that little bit of subtle sass of like pre-volume 4 Yang it's really nice to see. And I love that she kind of instantly clocks that this is a trap that he's setting. Fuck this guy, it's one of those deals. I love that she instantly clocks it. Like, she doesn't trust him even for a second. Oh man, the sounds. Hell yeah.
I can't believe you were dumb enough to let me lead you here.
And I think, sorry for pausing. That's what we do here. If you don't want pauses, go somewhere else. Pretty sure you've already noticed that by now. And that's why a lot of people don't like my channel very much, because I pause probably too much for them. But, fuck those guys. I think that this guy is actually voiced by Yuri, right? Yuri Lowenthal. Let me look that up real quick. Shady Man. Or, because he doesn't show up as a character. Volume 5. No, it's not. It's not Yuri who voices him. Who is it? Who voices Shady Man? And that is his name, by the way, which I absolutely love. Who is it? Look up. Clifford Chapin. Wasn't he... Trying to get who he is. Sorry about this. You can skip ahead if you want to. I really don't care. This is something for me, and I recognize that. Who is he? Because I think he was in RWBY already, wasn't he? He is just Shady Man. Never mind, I was wrong. It's not Yuri. It's Clifford Chapin. Interesting. He and Yuri have very similar voices. At least I think so. Interesting. I just realized the score here is so tense. I really enjoy it.
Is this everyone?
Yes, little lady. This is it. Well, unless you count the whole rest of the camp back that way.
That way.
Yes, that way.
Good to know.
Now to pay me back for this tooth, we're gonna take your bike. And you're gonna take your lumps.
And I always love the acoustic guitar there. It's so... It's got Yang's motif, if I'm correct. But I love... Something I like Volume 5 for is... It's not so much that I don't like... Because I've said it before, like, Volume 5 is my second least favorite volume. Ahead of Volume 5. Or ahead of... Wow, words. Ahead of Volume 2. Volume 2 is easily my least favorite. And the reason I don't like Volume 2 so much is because, again, I explained it in the last video. I feel like you could split that up into both Volumes 1 and 2 and still have a cohesive experience that way. I recognize why they didn't do that. Because they were just kind of starting up and they didn't want to, blow their whole fucking budget on one season of a show they didn't even know was going to succeed. But Volume 5 is... I think I'm really going to appreciate this volume more after this because it is such a mess in terms of its structure. The writing is... It's okay. It's definitely not the best that RWBY has to offer. But what I love about... Holy crap. I am yawning a lot this reaction. I didn't sleep very well last night, so sorry in advance. But something that I really love Volume 5 for is the atmosphere and the general vibe that it has. Despite not having the best writing or nearly the best action, especially towards the ending, it's the atmosphere and the tone is just right. Volume 5 is the perfect mix of the tone of volumes 1 through 4 and that of 6 through 9. I really enjoy the tone of Volume 5 and like the atmosphere that it has around it, and especially like the mood in terms of its lighting. It's so warm and there's something so cozy about it almost. I know that is one of the few things that is sung in terms of praises about this volume, and I definitely agree with that. I think it's a phenomenal volume in terms of that. But yeah. Oh, man. There are a few things that I do genuinely love, and there are some scenes in this volume that we'll get to that are actually some of my favorites in the show. It just sucks that they're in a volume that is so messy. I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's a messy fucking volume.
got the jump on me last time, sweetheart. You really ought to think twice about fighting all... All right. Get her!
I've always loved this fight scene. It's very tactile. Like, compared to pretty much every other fight scene in the series, this is one of those where it's like the athleticism conveyed by pretty much everybody in this fight is very real. A lot of the fights in RWBY are, you know, very rule of cool and hyper action, and there's not a lot of, like, there is weight to the abilities and the weapons, but I feel like sometimes the characters can feel a bit weightless. This is one of those fights where it's very tactile and very, like it's so calculated.
Get her!
Like, oh man. And it uses slow-mo very interestingly, because that moment where Yang is up in the air, that's actually a slow-mo shot. If you like that's a slow-mo shot with, oh my god, Jesus Christ. That his chest, his ribs are broken. That man is not getting up in a while. I love that he just fucking has an AK, I guess. It's not an, don't police me. I'm joking. I know firearms better than most people. But yeah, that's a slow-mo shot right there that just happened with her, like, raising her fist to get him. And then that in-between frame of her flipping, and you can see his eyes, like, going towards her. That's a slow-mo shot. And then, that's a slow-mo shot of her flipping back. Oh, man. And yes, this is, I'll bring it up in just another slow-mo. This is it might have been a little bit of volume 3 in chapter 10. But this is really the volume where it started to get kind of ridiculous. Battlefield stretching, because we can go back to about, there's actually a panning shot.
You really ought to think twice about fighting all...
Hold on.
That way. You hear?
Is this it?
Yeah, hold on.
I can't believe you were dumb enough to let me lead you here.
Yeah, this is the size of the battlefield. Just this. However, there's not enough space there, Rooster Teeth. There's definitely not that much, and there was definitely not that much space. And then suddenly we're only this far. It's not something to actually critique the show about, but it's a noticeable animation detail, and it's like, I wonder why that is, like, because it's not just RWBY that has done that before. It's a lot of projects, and I've always wondered, like, why do that? So yeah, Yeah, this is the size of the battlefield. And it's like, well, where did all that distance come from?
Are you? It doesn't even matter. When Raven finds out what you did, you're dead.
Possibly, but I doubt it. I'm her daughter, after all.
I'm dead.
Interesting what we're doing here structurally. One brawn, one to the other. Is that what we're kind of showcasing here? What was I going to say? Not too many changes with that one. Again, it was a lot of like cutting up lines. It was... The action scene was, you know, kept for the most part. I think I might have heard some like extra sound effects, maybe. I don't necessarily know for sure. But it's just punchier scenes. So
regular or the special?
I'm actually looking for someone. Goes by the name Shiro Wan. Ever heard of him? I heard he's a regular around here.
Who's asking?
Hey, I'm not some cop, if that's what you mean. I need Shiro for a gig.
So, he's a friend of yours.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's a pretty alright guy.
Well, in that case...
this is interesting. Because if I remember right, we didn't get this until... I want to say... Because, like, when it was mentioned, it was either episode 2 or 3 in the original. And then, because of the weird structural length of Volume 5, this was held until... I want to say it was either episode 6 or 7 that we got the reunion. I think the reunion episode was, well, let me check, because I've already pulled out the phone once this reaction. Why not do it again? The reunion episode is episode 7. And somebody is taking a shower. Yeah. I think that this was either in episode 5 or 6. So we are jumping ahead either 1 or 2 episodes. Maybe more. I don't necessarily remember a lot of like the distinct timeline of Volume 7 or Volume 5, because it is one of those volumes where a lot of the events kind of blur together in my mind, like a lot of the episode events. So it's like I might not be too sure about that. But yeah, we're jumping ahead at least 1 or 2 episodes with this section here. So
You tell that jerk that he better not show his ugly face in here until he pays me the lien he owes me.
Did I say friend? I meant acquaintance. Really, we're just colleagues. Thanks for your time, buddy. I'll just be taking off now. Great start.
this is one of those sections that I wish people paid more attention to. This is one of the sections, one of those scenes that really highlights the idea that Remnant is a grimdark world with Hope Punk people. I think Miles or Carrie said in an interview that at one point that like Remnant is a world where humanity is pushed to near extinction. There's like, I think that they said it was like 2 million people, like 2 to 2.5 million people in total. Now get this, you'd think 2.5 million people total, what, in each country, in each town, or each region, like Vale, Mistral, Anima, Atlas, and Vacuo? No. It's 2 to 2.5 million people total in the world. That's one of those details that has always stuck with me because it really paints the picture that even before Salem came along, humanity is a dying species in this world. Like, this is a civilization. Like, this is barely a civilization hanging on by the loosest of possible threads. And then Salem does what she does. It's a bleak fucking existence for the world of Remnant. It's so fucked up. And this is one of those scenes where it's like, it really paints the picture that everybody knows each other. And because everybody knows each other, when someone dies, it's devastating. It is a fundamental shift in your life if just one person is lost. And I think that's one of the elements of RWBY that I really love, is that it treats loss of life with so much care. Every single person that dies in this show is given a spotlight. Like, they are given a frame, or at least a few seconds, just to say, this is another casualty in this war, in this very, very bleak, hopeless world. And that's why the core cast of RWBY is so great, because, again, hope punk people in a grim, dark world. It's so fucked up. And that's one of the big draws of RWBY. Again, like, hope punk people, it's about extending your hand and giving a sense of, for lack of a better term there, hope for an existence that's fundamentally just suffering. There's a philosophy behind RWBY and its world and its characters that I'd love to tackle in a video someday, because I just find it very fascinating, the sheer depths of darkness that is in this world that Rooster Teeth created. It's very fascinating stuff. But then, like, the dichotomy of that to the characters it's really, really interesting. I love how bro is just like, stop being dramatic. What are you doing here? And then this scene. Ugh.
Heather Shields. Hey there. I'm looking for Heather. Look, pal, I've had a rough day. Do you know where she is or not?
Daddy? Does he know where Mommy is?
I'm sorry to bother you.
And that instant regret from Crow realizing what's happened here. It's just gutting stuff. And again, this is one of my favorite scenes in all of RWBY. It's so small. It's so... like, it's a quiet scene. And, like, that beginning of him, like, like, that's played for laughs. But the second you get to this bit, it recontextualizes the entire scene. It's like, fuck. It's really well done stuff. Oh, man. Everyone.
How much did Shiro owe you?
Well, I'd say about 16,000 lien.
Gotta love that in medias res.
Wait, what? Man, you must be in some serious trouble with him if you're paying me off.
His name is clear.
Yeah. That idiot.
Yeah.
Again, quiet scenes. And that, I think, is really what this volume excelled at. It didn't do great with the action. It didn't do great with the structure. But what it did quite stunningly was character building through tiny scenes. Tiny, quiet moments that really informed that this is what this world is, and this is what these characters are in spite of it. And I love that. I love that very much. Man, I'm thinking of it right now, and like, because it was in chapter 4 that we got the hug scene, and I don't think we're gonna get into the known by its song section yet, so yeah, I love how you can see the cage in the back there. Yes, I wish that this bandit tribe was more identifiable, like having a signature emblem or something like that. But I do like the layout of it. This is one of, again, like, speaking to the fact that, like, this is able to take out a village like Shion, which is like, it had a functioning inn, it was big enough to have, you know, huntsmen attached to it, but this is maybe 30 people. Let me see here. This will take a bit, but 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9 13 14 15 16. and then counting Vernal and Raven. This is a 40 camp tribe. This is 40 bandits. And it's like, that's enough to take out a village. And it's like, again, really emphasizing that this is a small world. Like, this is a humanity, like an extinction level of humanity remaining world. It sucks on Remnant. It's one of those fictional worlds where I can't see anybody wanting to live there because it's so bleak. And this is technically her first appearance in the volume, if we're looking at it.
Yang. Right. I'm sure this is all very overwhelming, but I must admit that you've proven yourself. So any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer. You can stay with us tonight. I'll even have the cooks whip up something for you.
That's not why I'm here.
What was that?
Ruby is somewhere in Mistral. She's with Crow and she's going to need my help. I just need you to take me to her.
And why would I do that?
Because we're family.
Family. Only coming around when they need something. I have to say, I'm disappointed. After all, you found me, didn't you? Why not take that drive and use it to find your little sister if she really means that much to you?
Because you're going to save me time. Ruby was heading to Mistral. There's no guarantee she's made it there. But Dad told me how your semblance works. You could bond to certain people. And when you do, you could create a portal that takes you straight to them. You've got one for Dad, one for me, and you've got one for Crow. Make a portal to my uncle and sister, and I'll be on my way.
Oh, aren't you stubborn?
I get it from my mom.
I'm not sure if I like the way that scene was cut up. There was the entire beginning section that was missed. And that beginning section is Raven kind of saying the whole of, like, you found me, it took a long time, then referencing the saving, but it's like, I knew you had the motivation, the drive, the will to do what it is you want. And I feel that's a big part of Raven's character. Raven is a character that lives and dies by self-determination. Like, actions of the one to define the self. And I feel like that section is a big part of why Raven is she's definitely wary about Yang in this scenario, but it's why, at least here, she definitely has a respect for Yang, because Yang is that, like, she lost her arm and she still found a way to bounce back and to get here. Like, she didn't know why, but it's like Raven saw that and was like, that's the drive that I have. There is part of me in her, and I think it's what allows her to kind of let her guard down and say, like, I'm impressed with that. Let me tell the cooks to do something, and you can stay here and I'll answer every question you have. That is the determining factor. that Yang had the the drive to do this on her own. And it's why Raven respects her to that degree, and I feel like some of that was missed in this scene, in this version. I disagree with that. So.
Well, if that's how you feel, then it sounds like we're done here. Take her away.
But the second that she brings up family, she brings up the idea that family is always there for each other, Raven backs off, because I feel like she realizes in herself that she preaches that to such an absurd degree, but she knows that she has no authority to speak on the fact that family should be there for each other. She knows that with Crow, she knows that with Tai, and she knows that with Yang. Summer, we still have yet to see, because I do have a feeling that there was a familial connection between those two, absolutely. Like a sisterhood between those two that died along with Summer. And I feel like that's one of the reasons. Well, no. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. But again, it's an interesting thing. Raven is easily one of the most complex characters in the show. And I really, really like her subtext.
Did you not hear me? I said, send me to Crow, damn it!
That's enough! You watch your mouth in front of our leader!
I find it funny how, like, damn isn't that big of a swear, but for this show it actually kind of is. And that's why that is.
Make me.
Yang?
Weiss?
All right, well, subtlety is out.
I feel like by ending it the way we did in episode 2, we didn't really get to see the buildup of, like, the tiny one, because we've always seen the Knight, the Gigas summon as, like, the big one. We never knew it could be small until that moment that she summons it in the cell. So I feel like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity, but I can see where the idea was here by not making it obvious as to where she is. And I said that in the episode 2 reaction, and I respect it. But I feel like this is one of those areas where it could have been better relayed, and it could have been... I feel like the way that RWBY did it isn't great, but I feel like there's a little bit of even that lost transitioning to this. Although I do love episode 2, that's still my favorite one.
What are you doing here?
Well, that's my mom, and she could take us to RWBY.
Your mom kidnapped
Yep.
me? You kidnapped her?
They said the thing! There are a few lines in RWBY that are the pinnacle of, like, comedy. That's one of them. That line exchange is so goddamn funny. It's so good. And it's one of, I want to say it's one of, like, it's top 10 jokes in the show. Period. It's so good. I love that exchange of dialogue.
If you people don't keep it together, this place will be crawling with Grimm. Give the girl her weapon back. You two, in my tent. Now.
Sorry about...
Such a good moment for
I
these
missed
two.
you so much.
And home
I missed you
playing.
too.
Ugh. Then I'm with you, I'm at home. God, it's such a good moment. Hell yeah. Interesting framing for the episode. Yeah, let's get to the post-episode discussion. Okay, so yeah, RWBY, Volume 5 Redux, Episode 4. This was a good one. I will say that, again, I didn't like every change. I feel like the Raven scene was the exchange between Blake and Raven needed some touching up. I feel like that did not need the cuts that it got, because I think, again, little character moments are what this volume banks itself on, and I feel like that's one of those moments where it really helps us get into Raven as a character who already has such... she already has such little grace in the fandom as it is. So to have her... like, that's a scene that really establishes her character. And to have that shafted, I don't particularly like that. But other than that, I think this was a good episode. I think my ranking so far, once again doing this, is going to be 2, 3, this, and then 1. I admittedly, like, in comparison, especially to 2, because 2 is just the best one so far, I think that this one, like, up to that point, this one was going to be at the same level as 3 or 2, but then that Raven scene kind of deflated it for me, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity to keep that kind of as it was, you know, exchanging, like, keeping the quality of the scene while dumbing down some of the runtime, because there are a few of the awkward pauses. But yeah, I really think that's it. I don't have much else to say other than that this was kind of a, like, episodes, this and number 3 are kind of like middle of the road in quality. There's not a lot happening, but I'm liking that Soul and Random Words are kind of finding a middle ground between, like, the tense action-y stuff and, like, setups, and they're trying to formulate these episodes where each of them has an arc, and I feel like the arc in this one was like Crow, Yang, and Raven. So yeah, that's about it from me. We've reacted to RWBY Volume 5 Redux, Episode 4. It's gonna be about it from me. Peace. In due time, everybody.